Let me see. I'm 23 in the queue right now. Maybe we should check out Fit's video about the incursions because I want to see what kind of fucking history this server has. I'm gonna be
anyone that's familiar with the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft knows exactly what the players here are capable of. When you have a server with no rules and is nearly a decade old,
whoa,
there's going to be some conflict.
Wow, there's so many layers to this server. Like an onion. What the hell? What the fuck? What? Oh my god. What? Holy shit! What? What? Oh my god! What? What? Is that what you want? Do they want war? Holy fucking shit! Bruh! Can I get a bruh in the chat, please? Bruh. Go back.
The Incursions. 7 of them have occurred since 2B2T began in 2010. Some were major success stories, others were total failures. What is an incursion? Well, think of it as a group of players coming together to take control of the server or to accomplish a goal. But it's a little more complicated than that. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you will completely understand. We'll discuss the history of each of the 7 incursions and also discuss what may happen in the future in regards to them. There's a lot to cover today, so let's get started. The incursions are split into 2 separate eras. 1 through 3 are considered the classic incursions.
The classic?
These incursions happened before the influence of YouTube on 2B2T.
Oh.
Meaning that there is very little footage of these events. Only screenshots.
Wow.
4 through 7 are considered the modern incursions. These incursions were much larger in pretty much every regard, and were mostly the result of YouTube influence.
Wow.
Because of this, there are countless hours of footage from all of these conflicts. Each incursion taught the 2B2T community a lesson in one way or another.
A lesson?
And all 7 lessons will be mentioned after their respective
This is crazy! This server is crazy! Every incursion brought a new lesson to 2B2T. So what lesson do I bring? Maybe my lesson is there should be no war. Maybe we shouldn't have a war. Just give me the server.
Starting with
PC Rehan coming through. He said, bruh, bruh. Listen, who wins in a war? No one. There's only casualties on every side. No one wins if there's going to be a war. But who wins if there's peace? Who wins if there's knowledge? Everyone.
Let me bring you back to the year 2013. There was a group of players on 2B2T from a base called Valkyria. These players decided one day that they wanted to travel to Spawn in order to do something that an organized group had never done before.
What?
Take control of the wasteland at 0-0.
Wow.
A Spawn invasion.
A
The
Spawn?
Valkyrians set up camp at 2K2K. The last...
What? This is crazy. A whole squad of dudes who were just like, yo, we want to change Spawn. It didn't even look like that big of a squad. Tainted Krill came through with $50. Yo, Tainted Krill, shout outs to you, man. Yo, good to see some of the fucking old school motherfucking Joy-Con boys in here. He says, bro, I've been out here on 2B2T plotting, bro. I'll see you in there. And also, subscribe to You in My World. yeah, I love the fucking saying, bro. Yeah, shout outs to you, Tainted. I'll see you on the server, bro. Hopefully you're in queue. I'm in queue right now, too. I'm currently at number 19, so we got a little bit of time going. Thank you very, very much, though, Yuma. Your $50 is going to go towards the effort. I hope that I hope they learned. I tried to show them. I hope these dudes understand the conditions I'm giving them. I hope they compromise, because otherwise no one's going to be able to have fun this summer.
remaining city from the face. Valkyrians set up camp at 2K2K, the last remaining city from the face punch era, and used it as a base of operations in order to control spawn.
What?
Being so close, the group was able to do regular patrols, killing any players that stood in their way.
What?
And befriending some of the more advanced players they encountered. Housemaster, the admin of 2B2T, had recently flattened spawn in an attempt to eliminate lag, so the patrols had a very large area to work with.
Wow.
The Valkyrians called it the spawn invasion, and it lasted only a week.
A week?
That's right. The term incursion had not been invented yet, as the term would be applied to this event retroactively at a later date.
Why is this so serious for?
While the members of Valkyria had fun with their little invasion, they realized just how challenging a spawn occupation actually was.
A spawn occupation? They literally decided to change the spawn. Holy shit. Is something like that even possible, bro?
And the leader of the group, Sato86, felt that the invasion wasn't exactly a success. It had failed to accomplish its goal.
Wow.
The first incursion may have been a failure, but it showed that players could band together on a server with no rules to try and accomplish something, if only they had greater numbers. But the lesson learned from the first incursion was that lacking objectives and goals would make players disorganized, and they would lose interest in a community event very quickly.
There needs to be a goal. There needs to be a goal. Well, do we have a solid goal? I don't know, but maybe we can have one by the end of the video.
A few months later, a post about 2B2T went viral on the Minecraft subreddit, and at the same time, an IGN video was released about 2B2T,
Whoa,
which
back
caused
then?
a new wave of players to join the server. At the time, it was considered enough new players for the members of Valkyria to once again call for a spawn invasion.
The same guys did it
Remembering
again?
what they had learned from the previous invasion, they brought more members and had pre-planned goals. These included rebuilding spawn roads, protecting the NFE spawn base, protecting other structures such as spawn beacons, and of course, killing the invading new players.
What?
This spawn invasion lasted 2 months.
2 months
than the
of
original.
2 months of war? 2 months?
Overall, this second spawn invasion was considered a success, and the first true takeover of 2B2T's spawn region. The lesson learned from the second incursion was that having goals helped maintain player presence at spawn and kept them busy with their own tasks.
That was not a blitzkrieg.
It cemented the path for goal-driven incursions in the future. However,
2
2
months?
months was too long for an incursion, and it led to the exhaustion of the players involved. It would be another 2 years before the community came together again.
Wow, so the first incursion ever happened, and then the next one happened a few months after. They were successful. They took over the fucking server. They took over the spawn. Wow, and then it was 2 years because everybody was so... You see, a war just makes everyone's resources get burned out, your bases get destroyed. Where's the fun in that? I don't want the 9 gang to have to destroy bases. I want to have fun in the server. I don't want all your work to go to waste, veterans. We want to just have fun. Wow, this is crazy.
For another incursion. And it led to the exhaustion of the players involved. It would be another 2 years before the community came together again for another incursion.
Right now, we are currently number 10 in the queue, bro. We're about to get in there. Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching. We still have a few minutes left.
In 2015, after the largest base on the server at the time, Asgard 2, was griefed, the community of nearly 30 players living together were upset and needed to take their anger out on something.
What?
Many of the base members were ex-members of Valkyria, and they decided that it was time for another incursion.
What?
The previous 2 spawn invasions were renamed to Incursion.
They just got pissed off that they got griefed. So the biggest castle in the server at the time got griefed, and they were like, fuck you. So for 2 years, the biggest base in the server was untouched. How does the biggest base in the server go untouched in an anarchy server for 2 years? I guess they had contracts. I guess they had peace. But after 2 years, who fucking decided to bomb it? This is
incursions, and the third incursion planning was well underway. But this time, things would change. The third incursion was different than the previous two for a few reasons. First, it was the first incursion to have a deadline. A deadline would ensure that the event did not go longer than 1 month, preventing player burnout. The first incursion to allow players from outside the Valkyrian Legion circle.
Wow.
Many of the members of Asgard 2 were strong fighters, builders, and thinkers.
This is crazy.
It made sense to have them involved.
This is fucking
And
mad.
it was the first incursion to have a community build project. It was decided that a community build project would help cement the incursion's takeover of Spawn and give the members something to protect. What was the build? Wrath Outpost.
Wrath?
A giant base made entirely out of obsidian. It took a couple of weeks to be fully completed, but
What?
once it was finished,
That's so
it
cool.
was the largest spawn base ever built.
It was a
Since
spawn
withers
base?
were disabled on 2B2T during much of 2015,
That was a spawn base? That was at the spawn? Oh my fucking god! How did they build that?
it was almost impossible to grief. Incursion members patrolled the base round the clock, and using spawn eggs, ghasts were spawned in as aerial support to attack invaders. Using Wrath as the spawn outpost, the Incursion had total control of Spawn. It was a complete success, and after 1 month, the Incursion came to a close. The lesson learned
It took a month?
was that by setting a deadline, it gave the people involved a sense of urgency, which made all members more productive. It also allowed newer members a way to prove themselves and be useful. I'll always have a soft spot for the third Incursion since it was the first one I was part of. The end of the third Incursion marked the end of an era. The classic Incursions had come and gone. Nearly a year later, the YouTube invasion of 2B2T would begin, and with it, a new era of Incursions.
So that was the last Incursion to happen without YouTube. Wow. Okay, 2016.
When the
YouTube.
Camping Rusher made his now famous video about 2B2T, his fans flooded the server in magnitudes never before seen.
What?
His fans were called the Rushers and began rushing 2B2T. The old player base was completely outnumbered and had no choice but to either fight back or quit. The Rusher War was inevitable. I started the Team Veteran Initiative in order to rally some of the old players and also convert new players to our side, while Sato and the other old Incursion members began organizing in case a new Incursion had to be called. We tricked the incoming players into fighting each other under the guise of Team Veteran versus Team Rusher.
What?
While many of us were fighting on the front lines at Spawn every day, it just wasn't enough. There were just too many.
So it was actually Fit going against the YouTubers? Was this before Fit was a YouTuber though? If that's the case, then it makes sense because he wasn't one of us. So that way he could join the team to go against us.
New players. While we were able to dispose of most Diamond Rushers with relative ease, a group of new players began to rise to power seemingly out of nowhere. They called themselves the Resistance. They were a team of Rushers that were far.
Dog, everyone's saying, Etika, your location got leaked, bro. It's a problem. Listen, it's not. I don't care if my location got leaked. I mean, if it got leaked, they didn't even see anything. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. Like, I'll just do more off camera later on. It's fine. I mean, I'll probably play it tonight anyways. I want to see what the spawn is looking like. I want to see what it's looking like when the 9 game pops in. So to be honest with you, it's going to be a very interesting stream, regardless of if I actually get away and they don't find me, or if I actually wind up getting killed and I have to go back to spawn. I do have an alternate account though that is at the spawn point, so hopefully I can just use the alternate to check what spawn's looking like when I get away and make my dash and shit. So it's not a problem. Calm the fuck down. Y'all are overreacting over nothing.
Far more skilled in combat players.
Oh, and shout out to you, Fit. Fit is in the chat. Can we get a hello, Fit, in the chat, please?
Began to rise to power seemingly out of
Go
nowhere
back.
every day. It just wasn't enough. There were just too many new players.
Here's the thing. Fit just said the Rusher War, the reason why they took over is because they just did not have the numbers to compete with the amount of fucking rushers that were coming in. And we're talking kids here. Niggas were coming in And they literally just didn't have the manpower, bro. This is bigger than that.
While we were able to dispose of most diamond rushers with relative ease, a group of new players began to rise to power seemingly out of nowhere.
Wow.
They called themselves the Resistance.
The Resistance?
They were a team of rushers that were far more skilled in combat than any of the other new players.
A team, a sub-team in the team that was actually super skilled, like a council. You know, every single army has the grunts, then you got the generals, and then you got the special ops. You think I ain't got no special ops to work with here? You think I ain't got Joy-Con men that are gonna be playing this game on a serious basis to be able to actually put work in like that, nigga? We got special ops. We can do that.
They had legitimate PvP background and fought in teams, outnumbering lone veterans they came across.
Wow.
They managed to defeat some of the old players by catching them off guard, including Burnsy and Sato.
They got Sato?
New players were overwhelming, 2B2T culture was not being respected, and now, longtime players were being singled out and attacked.
They went for the vets' necks. These rusher niggas are crazy, bro. They went for the vets in packs. Did you see John Wick, the team of sushi guys that were going after the squads and killing niggas in duos? They took down Sato like a fucking duo. They did him like the wolf pack.
That was the final straw. The old community came together again, and the fourth incursion truly began.
What?
For the first time, the incursion was willing to take in new players if they had something useful to contribute or had certain skills.
Wow.
Such as Basti VC's bomber airships.
What the fuck? A bomber? How do you build a bomber airship? What the fuck kind of... What is this server? How do you even do something like that? What? Can I get a bruh? How do you make a bomber aircraft? What? And this is in survival mode. In survival mode.
What? Fourth incursion truly began.
What? He said this incursion looked for players that had skills to do that kind of stuff. Where do you find someone in the world that knows how to build a Minecraft air bomber?
For the first time, the incursion was willing to take in new players if they had something useful to contribute or had certain skills, such as Basti VC's bomber airships or San Wukan's lag machines.
They made lag machines? They used lag machines as tools of war!
By using social engineering, hacking, and brute force, all resistance supply stashes were wiped out, and in July of 2016, late one summer evening, the incursion banded together and carried out a raid on the Resistance's main base. The place was a crater by the time the incursion had finished destroying everything. In the weeks leading up to my duel with the camping rusher, the fourth incursion continued to fight at spawn, weakening the Resistance and continuing to kill rushers. While this was happening, though, a new form of combat...
What? Wow. How did they fight? They used a combination of brute force, hacking. They used hacking, and it was fine. I'm in the queue. I'm at number 9 right now. This shit, this is the hardest I've bruhed in a long time. I'll tell you that much.
Weeks leading up to my duel with the camping rusher, the fourth incursion continued to fight at spawn, weakening the Resistance and continuing to kill rushers. While this was happening, though, a new form of combat was emerging.
What?
Crystal combat.
Crystal combat?
And crystal explosions were so powerful that they could kill any player with only 1 or 2 explosions, even with god apples.
What?
This effectively turned traditional PvP battles into kamikaze runs. None of the sides were prepared for this kind of change in the combat meta. And the incursion began having trouble maintaining control of spawn.
What?
A few days after I won my duel against the camping rusher, both sides of the conflict...
There was a duel? It was Fit versus Rusher? How do you have a duel? What? What the fuck kind of server is this? I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. This is so action-packed. This is better than the movies, nigga.
Geared for one final confrontation. Both sides of the conflict re-geared for one final confrontation at spawn. This would be the last true battle of the Rusher War. Corrupted Unicorn, the leader of the resistance, unexpectedly switched sides before the battle and was ready to fight alongside the Incursion. Both sides met near spawn and began fighting. Some end crystals were used, but the majority of the combatants used traditional weapons.
Wow.
The battle lasted almost an entire hour.
An
and
hour?
ended with Rusher and company fleeing the battle,
They
but still surviving. This would go down as the last major battle in 2B2T history that still used traditional PvP weapons.
They don't use traditional PvP weapons anymore?
And the war on 2B2T was finally over. The members of the 4th Incursion went their separate ways. The Incursion was a success, and the lesson learned was that adapting to server change was crucial for keeping a player movement alive, and allowing some new players to join the Incursions made them stronger and more diverse.
Incursion.
Once
Why?
the war ended, numerous groups and factions sprang up after both Team Veteran and Team Rusher had been dissolved.
Look at all those people.
These groups attempted to gain as many members as possible and began fighting for control of the 2B2T community.
Okay, let me look at the queue. Right now, I'm number 5 in the queue. All right, this is crazy.
During this time of struggle, one of the most overpowered duplication exploits in 2B2T history became public. The server was falling even deeper into chaos. A player named Jared 2013 attempted to use this chaos to his advantage.
Jared 2013.
You're probably familiar with Jared if you've seen my video on how 2B2T almost died.
What?
Well, seemingly for no reason, Jared called for an incursion and started calling it the 5th Incursion. At first, the community thought it was a joke, but he was serious. He had a goal of creating a large wall at spawn made entirely out of obsidian.
What?
Jared, however, ignored the lesson that had been learned during the 4th Incursion and prevented all but his close friends from joining. This was a total disaster. It was a total bonehead move. There were not enough members of his incursion to actively build his wall, and many of the groups that were attempting to rise to power took the opportunity to destroy what was built of the wall for attention and for
This is fucking some attack on Shingeki no Kyojin. Those are the remnants of this big wall are scattered around this.
during the 4th Incursion and prevented all but his close friends from joining. This was a total disaster. It was a total bonehead move. There were not enough members of his incursion.
Fast forward.
Make
What was the lesson? What was the lesson? What was the lesson?
While single-handedly using withers.
What? What?
Rise to power. Disaster. It was a total bonehead move. There were not enough members of his incursion to actively build his wall.
Wow.
And many of the groups that were attempting to rise to power took the opportunity to destroy what was built of the wall for attention and for clout. One group in particular, Aurora,
Wow.
completely destroyed the 5th Incursion wall single-handedly using withers.
Wow.
The incursion was a total disaster, and to this day is still considered a joke.
Wow.
The lesson learned was one person alone cannot create an incursion. It requires multiple community leaders, and compromises need to be made in order to have enough people to accomplish the goals.
So that's a lesson that we need to keep in mind. There's a lot of people in the Joy-Con Boys community that I actually trust with being able to help me establish the 9B, the 9 gang shit going on in the world. But I gotta find them first. I have a lot of them that are out there right now. A lot of them that come through the donation box. A lot of them that hit me up in terms of being members, veterans on this channel for years. There are people that have the power to be able to be community leaders. It's not just Etika wildly, mindlessly running this shit. I definitely want a council. I want a council of trusted niggas. I want a council of generals. I want a council of motherfucking war dogs. I want everything. I want it all, bro. But that'll all come naturally. It's all little by little. I just found the server a few days ago and decided to call war on it. So it's not something that's gonna happen right away. But little by little, Rome wasn't built in a day. I mean, we have all day. I have all day. I mean, I'm not limited, thankfully, thanks to being able to live doing what I love to do, you guys supporting me. I'm able to do whatever I want anytime I fucking want. So I'm gonna be on this server anytime, nigga. RIP Aurora, you're too young. Nah, they're not talking about my Aurora. They're talking about their group. The great
More than a year would pass without any sort of incursion or major YouTuber invasion. But on April 1st, 2018,
wow,
popular YouTuber Ant Venom made a much anticipated video about 2B2T.
Ant Venom?
Ant Venom had informed the community of his desire to make this video well before he actually released it, giving the community time to prepare for an invasion of Ant Venom fans, or ants, as they were referred to.
Another fucking YouTuber.
The major groups that had survived the chaos of post-war 2B2T were now established forces on the server.
Whoa.
While not entirely hostile towards each other, they weren't exactly allies. But the Ant Venom invasion changed that. The leaders of each group and many of the established community members all agreed it was time for an incursion.
Whoa.
By numbers, this incursion would be the largest ever, with
What?
hundreds of players all taking part.
Hundreds.
Management was evenly split between
Hundreds of players on a server, and the server wasn't as big back then, probably. So you mean everybody and their mother was involved in this war?
different community members, ensuring that no single person could be calling all of the shots.
Wow.
The wall idea was brought back, except this time, Thebes and Sound, 2B2T'S greatest civil engineer,
A civil engineer?
was brought on board to be in charge of getting the wall built. The major groups taking part in the incursion all lended members to help with the wall. Other community leaders such as Henry and Hermetic Lock all kept the groups in check, making sure that nobody overstepped their boundaries.
Wow.
Jared was kept on a tight leash to make sure he didn't ruin this incursion. Despite coming under attack from several anti-incursion groups, the wall continued to be built.
Wow.
And after 1 month of the incursion, the Ant Venom fans were killed, the wall was successfully built and defended, and the 2B2T community was united.
2B2T beat Ant Venom?
The sixth incursion is regarded by some as the greatest of all time in how it completed a large-scale project that was thought to be impossible.
Wow.
Ended up creating alliances between the ruling groups and factions.
Wow. And that's the Great Wall where you see the fire coming down. That's where the lava goes down. I walked along that wall to get where I'm at now, bro. All of these structures have so much fucking history. That wall, holy shit.
And overall, was fun.
Someone has a very interesting comment. Ian Magesh says, I wonder how long all these dudes were in the queues to fight wars just to die. Holy shit. Rest in peace to those brave souls.
This incursion was a celebration of 2B2T, its culture and its players.
Wow.
Immediately following the incursion, there was relative peace on the server.
Wow.
But that wouldn't last long.
Wow. The end.
Fast forward to the end of the summer of 2018.
What?
2 years after the end of the Russia War. A large French YouTuber named FitMc decides to make a series on 2B2T. Instantly, the community sprang into action, but this time, there had been no preparation. There had been zero warning. Still fatigued from having just finished an incursion months before,
Wow.
the community began to debate what should be done in this new incursion. This time around, Jared desired a much greater role in the incursion, and so forced his way into one of the positions of leadership.
What? Oh, Jared, the same
Right
dude from the
off
fifth.
the bat, the incursion already had a few problems. First off, Fuse's fans mainly played on the server while the majority of the North American players were sleeping.
What?
Meaning it was easier for them to escape spawn. There was no actual enemy to fight. Secondly, the anti-incursion groups, still upset that they had failed to stop the sixth incursion,
Wow.
felt reinvigorated and attempted to thwart the incursion even harder.
By the nigga, oh shit. So so the niggas that got beaten, the Ant Venom niggas were like, yo, fuck the incursion, and they joined this other YouTuber, Frez wow. Do we need to make alliances with some of the old heads that got fucked up by these old incursions?
And finally, Jared was still not satisfied with his position in the incursion. He wanted total control, but he needed a reason to take control. And so he came up with a plan. First, he would convince newer Incursion recruits that he was the true leader of the Incursion.
Wow.
Then, he began using his privileges to kick players that he knew would stand in his way. He removed them under the guise of kicked for inactivity. If he noticed a player had been logged off the server or Discord for over 12 hours,
12 hours?
and they were somebody he didn't like, he kicked them.
What?
He kicked out many of the previous Incursion members and even kicked out some of the 2B2T YouTubers, myself included.
My
since
queue
we
is
were
currently
all
at
well aware
100.
of his
100.
previous failures. By that point, I had already secured a duel with Fuse, so being kicked out didn't really bother me much.
A duel?
But from
again?
here,
Yo,
Jared began fabricating.
Fit is a crazy ass nigga, bro. Like that. Fit don't give a fuck.
Evidence claiming the other leaders of the Incursion were attempting to kick him and take control for themselves.
Fuck
He
Jared.
was trying to turn all the leaders against each other. But the leaders, well aware of Jared's previous
Jared's like Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
failures and constant plotting, saw past the schemes. Instead of trying to salvage a dying Incursion, the leaders decided to let Jared have his Incursion, and all withdrew support. They knew full well that with Jared in charge, history would repeat itself. With no enemy to fight and a power-hungry leader, the Incursion fell into disarray. There weren't enough players to complete any of the planned projects, and the progress that was being made was easily undone by the anti-Incursion groups. Previous groups that left the Incursion had now become its targets. By the time I fought Fuse in our duel, the 7th Incursion had collapsed into itself. The community was left appalled and disappointed. For the first time ever, an Incursion was defeated by a different group.
Wow.
Jared's 7th Incursion became known as one of the most colossal failures in 2B2T history.
Lord.
It was such a disaster that Sato, the founder of Incursions himself, said that the Incursion name should be retired. That the name itself meant nothing anymore.
Wow.
The lesson learned here was that allowing unstable players into positions of leadership will weaken a group, no matter how many...
Jared sounds like a bitch. Kicking people out when you don't like them or desire power over them, or if they don't go with your fucking methods. Listen, man, I mean, if we unite under chaos, I don't think it's going to necessarily be something where we have internal struggles. But Jared is making internal struggles himself by fucking with people. This nigga is crazy. He's a madman. He wants power over, he wants control over everything. Here's the thing about me, right? I know I talk crazy, but I don't care to have power over anyone. All I wanted to do was just build a structure like anybody else is in Minecraft. I just want to build a house. I want to build some shit, bro. I have the right to do that the same way that any of you fucking vets do. And you're not giving me my natural right. I'm not asking to be better than you. I'm not asking for power over you. I don't care if you stay at your fucking far-ass million-block spawn. You can stay there. That's fine. Just let me and the 9 roll through and build what we want. I want to come onto this server and build an amazing structure. But you're not letting me do it. I don't care about you. But you know, you pissed me off, so now I want you to give us some resources. Just the same, because I know you have the resources. You have the resources. The only reason why I'm asking you for the resources now and being mean is because you motherfuckers were mean to me for no reason. I didn't do anything. All I came through to do was play some Minecraft. And y'all motherfucking bombing me with shit. Motherfucking, come on, guys.
Precautions are taken, and that an Incursion will fail without true community support. That brings us to the future of Incursions. These days, the community is weary about the name Incursion. It's meaningless now. It's a joke. The 2B2T community has grown so large that server-wide events are constantly happening without even being named at all.
Really?
When 2B2T fell into the YouTube algorithm's favor again last month and a new influx of players joined the server, 4 different Discords all popped up.
Wow.
All claiming to be the true 8th Incursion. And of course, all of them run by new players who have never even been in an Incursion before.
Wow.
Someone even started a 9th Incursion as a meme. I think it's safe to say that the days of Incursions are over.
Wow.
If the founder of Incursion says it's time to stop, maybe that's not such a bad idea.
Sato,
If
huh?
the community ever comes back together for a common goal or cause again, it'll probably have some other name. That would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, this isn't really gonna. I don't want to have a fucking incursion go down. All I want to do is build a Minecraft. I want to build some shit with my boys. That's all, dude. Do you know how stressful this is? This fucking life that I've chosen. Do you know how stressful it is to just want to do what you want to do? We as the Joy-Con boys have been banned from places, kicked from places, of us only wanting to have fun. All I want to do is watch cool shit with my friends. These guys are my fucking friends. These are my fucking niggas. These are my homies. But we've been booted from places for doing nothing but just wanting to have fun. That's all I want. I want to watch whatever I want to watch. I want to do whatever I want to do and not have to worry about losing my livelihood or losing my goddamn people. So I find a place that allows that. I find the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft, a place that actually says, guess what, Etika? You can do what you want. That goal that you've had to just be wild and crazy and to just live by your own rules and live by the 9, nigga, you can do that. And I'm like, yo, this is a place. We finally found a home. No, Joy-Con boys, we found a home where we can be ourselves, and it happens to be in Minecraft. But then you tell me that I can't do that. And that's the same, what makes it that you're so fucking eligible to do it, but I'm not. I want to do the same thing that you want to do. Why don't I have that privilege? Because I got fans? Nigga, that's stupid.
But what will that name be? Well, like anything on an anarchy server.
I don't want to call this the 9 war, because it's not going to be a war, bro. This is not going to be a motherfucking war. I don't want to call it 9 war. I want to call it something else.
It's going to be hard to predict. Woo! That was a lot to cover in a short amount of time, and I did it all in one take. And I still barely scratched the surface of some of these events.
Wow.
But if you want to discover more of the decade-long history from the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to get updates on when new 2B2T videos are being released. The era of incursions seems to be coming to an end. What will happen next on 2B2T? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Take it easy, everyone, and stay alive out there.
That video, that was the most over epic video I've ever seen. I mean, it was epic, but holy shit, Fit's voice alone just makes that get sold so well. Like, if it wasn't Fit doing that, I don't think I would care as much. But wow, what a fucking narrator. I love it, man. That video gave me definitely a lot of lessons learned in terms of how to potentially have our fun with the server if we really, really want to, man.